Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for your patient wait. I'm sorry for being slightly late to starting this class today. Anyway, I hope you are all doing really, really well, and thank you very much for joining the class today. So as you know, my name is Scott, and I am the Academic Director at Swoosh English. Maybe you're completely new to these sessions with me. Maybe you're completely new to me in these sessions as well. But anyway, I just want everyone to feel comfortable. And once again, thank you very much for coming to the class today. So first and foremost, I can hear myself. I can see myself. All my software is saying that you can hear me and you can see me. I just want to confirm that everyone here can also hear me and see me as well. So if you can hear me and see me, please send in a message into, if you're on the Swoosh English Facebook or YouTube, or the OET Facebook and YouTube, please send me a message in and let me know that you can hear me and that you can see me. Once I've got the tech check out of the way, we can begin the session. So please let me know if you can do so. That would be absolutely fantastic. Good, good. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to have a lot of comments coming in. Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can see you, which is great. I only need to have a couple, but thank you very much for everyone for being so interactive in the session today. So I appreciate that. So let me just see who we do have in the session today. I'm going to go through a few feeds and call out a few people's names and see who we have in the class today. So over on the Swoosh English Facebook, we have Lionel, we have Cheston, we have Surya, we have Amitagala, we have Shruthesh, we have Tismal, we have Adrian. Hello, Adrian, good to see you again. And we got a few others coming in as well. Over on the YouTube feed, we have Vahalden, we have Regina, we have May, Joe, Hensi, Yolima, CALB, etc., etc. Very good. So thank you very much, guys. Welcome to the welcome to the session today, and thank you very much for coming. And of course, we have Gerthen, we have Julie, we have Anika, we have Selva, we have Johnson, we have Orkey, we have Williams, we have Ezra as well. A lot of people have come and joined us today. So thank you very much. It could be very late, it could be very early where you guys are in the world. So I appreciate you giving me your valuable time to check into the session today. Before we actually get into the speaking session today, of course, I like to get to know my students who have started the session today. I like to know where you're from, what your profession is, and also when you're taking the OET exam as well. So 3 questions. I want everyone to participate as much as possible. Can you let me know, 1, where you are from, 2, what your medical profession is, and 3, when you plan to take your OET exam? That could be tomorrow. It could be in 2 weeks' time. It could be next month. It could be several months from now. I just want to know as many people as possible where when you're taking the OET exam, importantly, so I can see how important this session and all of your OET preparation is for you on the big day of the exam, which may be very soon, and it may be in a little while. So let's see who we got and where are they from. Let's go through a few comments. Okay. So we have Tozin from the UK, we have Joyce from the Philippines, we have Divya from Saudi Arabia, we have Tisha from the Philippines, is a nurse and is taking the exam April the 10th. Very good. We have Vicky from Malaysia. We have Haider as a doctor from Syria taking the exam the 20th of March. Next weekend, Haider, how do you feel about taking your exam? Len, please let me know. We have Shubho from Bangladesh as a doctor taking the exam on the 24th of April. Very good. We have Vicky is also a doctor and taking the exam in May. Very good. We have Dr. Life from Iraq taking the exam on the 10th of next month and is a pediatrician. Fantastic. We have Sabina Melbourne taking the exam, is a registered nurse and taking the exam on the 20th of March. Once again, next weekend. Sabina, how do you feel about your exam then? Richmond is from the Philippines, a nurse taking the exam in July, so a good bit of time. Very nice. Let's go through a couple more comments. Rochelle from Davao in the Philippines is a nurse taking the exam on May the 8th. We have Irene is from Spain, is a dentist and is taking the exam in May. Okay, one more in this feed and I'll jump to another one. We have Shireen, 20th of March, and is a doctor. Shireen's taking the exam next week as well. Shireen, let me know how you feel about taking your exam then. Okay, so we got Yolima from Colombia. Very good. I'm a doctor taking the exam on the 20th next week. How do you feel about that, Yolima? Please let me know. We have Nithu Prakash from Kerala and is taking the exam once again next week as well. How do you feel about taking the exam next week, Nithu? Wow, amazing. We have a doctor from Oman called Bathaldin taking the exam on the 9th of May, a doctor from Oman. Let's get one more comment on the YouTube feed. We have Josmi from India, is a nurse by profession, planning to take the exam in June. So wow, a good amount of people from all over the world, many different professions taking the exam. Good number next week, but also a good number taking the exam later in the year. Fantastic. Very good, guys. Thank you very much for your comments. And a few Swoosh English students. Adrian is a registered nurse, is taking the exam on the second quarter of 2021 from the Philippines. We have Amidagala from Pakistan, registered nurse. Whenever you prepare me for the exam, yeah, that's a great idea, Amidagala. Only take the exam whenever you feel you are ready to pass, but not only when you feel you are ready to pass, but you have proven via your feedback, via your instructions, your mock exams, etc., that you are ready to pass that exam with the best you've got via all the practice you put in beforehand. So very, very good mindset to have. Dismal is a nurse from India taking the exam in May. Kannan is from Kerala as well. Fantastic, guys. Okay, I wish I had time to speak to everyone in this session, but you know, there's quite a lot of people and there's only little of me. So I'm just going to wish absolutely everyone who's joined me today the absolute best of luck for their OET preparation, especially if you're taking the exam next week. I hope you are feeling prepared. I hope you are feeling ready. I hope you are ready to pass that exam. And of course, not just the people who are taking it next week. If you're a Swoosh English student or not, my best regards in regards to your preparation and your chances of passing this exam in the coming months. So best of luck to everyone. Anyway, thank you very much for those small introductions. I'll just tell you a little bit about myself before we begin the session today. As I said, my name is Scott, and you probably are quite familiar with me in these lives now that I do with OET quite often, as well as on the Swoosh English Facebook page as well. I've been an English teacher for the last number of years. I spent time living in Vietnam, in the Middle East, in China, in Australia. And actually, when I worked in Australia, first and foremost, I quickly became, my specialism in English was exam preparation. Started off by teaching the IELTS exam, but not long after that, I moved, of course, into the OET exam, seeing the potential with that exam, with its growth, and of course, helping medical professionals as well. And when I worked in Melbourne for a while, I did spend a bit of time working for the official OET organization as an OET speaking interlocutor. So I was responsible for carrying out the speaking tests with OET in Melbourne in official exam venues. So I want to just kind of bring that experience I have today, as well as the fact I like to speak as well. You can probably tell I do quite like to talk. So I want to bring that today to try and bring the best out of you guys in some OET official discussions. So anyway, I'm from Ireland as well, where I'm currently living. I've been all over the world, but I'm back living in my native Ireland again. And it's still good to be able to connect it with everyone from all over the world via my computer here at my desk and engaging everyone in these speaking sessions today. So that's a bit about me. Let's get on today with the session. So let's get started. Okay, so first and foremost, I want to say that even though, of course, this is a mock speaking class and we are doing these every 2 weeks currently with official OET, we at Swoosh English have done plenty of other classes throughout the last number of months. One was our very useful and very interesting medical vocabulary series, where we explored something a bit different that was typically done with the 4 OET sub-skills. So we actually did a series on medical idioms, medical phrasal verbs, collocations and contexts, medical theme colloquialisms and synonyms and antonyms as well. You can watch those either on the official OET page or the Swoosh English channel. Check out those videos under the OET or Swoosh English videos tab and watch some of those interesting classes and get some great vocabulary for the rest of your exam. So check those out if you so desire. Okay, so what are we doing today? Well, if you're new to the session, then these lesson aims will be, of course, useful for you. Well, they're useful for everyone. But of course, if you have joined these sessions before, we're doing pretty much the same that we do every week. We're giving you some great speaking practice. But what does that actually mean? Well, first of all, The most important thing to do is to learn or review, if you're very familiar with it, the scoring criteria for OET speaking. It is essential to know that scoring criteria when you're preparing for your OET exam, so you know what the examiner is looking for and you can produce that in the exam. We're going to take part or listen to OET role plays with me as the interlocutor. We'll have a chance to get a few people to speak today. And of course, if you actually can't take part today, of course, we'll make, just so you know that we at Swoosh English love to have as many speaking classes as we can per week. And of course, we'll make sure that you can join us if you so desire. But if you don't get to speak today, of course, there is still value in listening to the feedback and taking on board what's being said to apply that to your own speaking role plays. Of course, you're going to listen to the feedback and give your own as well. And if we have some time, we'll do a brief Q&A at the very end so you guys can ask any of your questions or queries about your OET preparation. Okay, so let's start looking briefly at the speaking criteria. As we may know already, there are two sets of speaking criteria. Let's just quickly go through the first set of speaking criteria, which is known as the linguistic criteria. So the linguistic criteria assesses 4 different criterion: your intelligibility, your fluency, your appropriateness of language, and your resources of grammar and expression. Let's have a look first at intelligibility, which says the impact of your pronunciation, your intonation, and accent on how clearly your listener can hear and understand what you're saying. So your pronunciation, can you accurately say the various sounds of the English language? So of course your short sounds, your long sounds, your vowels, your consonants, your diphthongs, your blends, etc. Can you pronounce things accurately? Intonation. So do you speak flat like a robot the whole time? Hopefully not. Hopefully you raise your intonation and lower it as is appropriate in the English language to express meaning and clarity, but just so that you don't sound flat the entire time. Is your intonation appropriate? And finally, your accent. I first want to say that having an accent is not a bad thing. I have an accent. So if I had an accent, I don't speak perfect Queen's English, so to say, in terms of my accent, but everyone has an accent. So what this means is that if you do have a particularly heavy accent, which may impede your pronunciation, etc., you want to try and reduce that a little bit when you're speaking. Try and speak as neutrally as possible. And just so you know, guys, I'm doing that today. So I'm not speaking the way I normally would. I'm reducing my accent right now so that everyone can hear me as clearly as possible. So get into the practice of doing that in your own OET speaking practice. Next criteria is the fluency, which is the speed and smoothness of your speech. It's not about speaking as fast as you can. Fluency is not about going at it all guns blazing, really, okay? It's about trying to maintain clarity, trying to maintain accuracy when you're speaking with minimal repetition, self-correction, hesitation, or any other breakdowns in your speaking as well. So you want to be able to maintain a good speaking pace that everything is nice and well and joined together. So what I think about in terms of that is try and think about how fast you would speak in your native language. Maybe reduce that a bit when you're speaking in English, because that gives you a bit of extra time for your tongue to catch up with your brain, because your brain's probably working very, very well. It's just your tongue sometimes when you're trying to get those thoughts out as you're thinking and speaking at the same time about the OET role play. Bring it down a little bit, and that will hopefully minimize some of those errors that might come about from obviously practicing in a second language. So don't worry if a couple of errors do happen, but try your best to minimize them when you're speaking. Appropriateness of language, which is obviously your tone and your professionalism. Do you speak appropriately for a doctor? Do you speak appropriately for a nurse, etc., etc.? Are you using a lot of slang, a lot of colloquialisms, etc., etc.? Make sure you keep it nice and formal, but not too rigid, because obviously you still need to relate to the patient. I'll go into a bit more about that very soon. And then finally, your resources of grammar and your expression. So if you're using vocabulary, are you using it accurately? Are you using it appropriately? Are you using it in context? When you are using, of course, a variety of grammatical structures, are you using them accurately with minimal errors as well? So try and focus on the accuracy of your language. Don't try and show off with any grammatical structures that you're not so comfortable with using. If you're not able to use it appropriately, then try and simplify it a bit if you can't learn in that time to use it. So accuracy is key, not the range of grammar that you use. Of course, a degree of complexity is required. but it doesn't have to be any more complicated than it needs to be. So that's the first set of criteria, linguistic criteria. Who can tell me what is the second set of criteria for OET speaking? We have linguistic criteria, which is number one, but as from 2019 with the newly revamped OET exam, there has been a second set of OET speaking criteria introduced. So this is going to test those who obviously want to come to these classes every 2 weeks, but also those who maybe are a bit more advanced in their OET preparation. You've taken the time to look at the criteria and know what's being asked of you on the day of the OET exam. So who can let me know? Throw some comments in and let me know which is the second set of criteria that you are assessed on the day of the OET speaking exam. Please let me know. Okay. All right. We got one word here. Just so you know, guys, it's 3 words for the second set of criteria. So clinical may be one of the words, but it's not it by itself. Can we expand that into the full phrase for the second set of criteria? Please let me know. Okay. Who's the first person to get it? Leno. Well done, Leno. You are our star student today. Leno has gotten it correct and has said clinical communication criteria. Nice work. Well done, Leno. That is perfect. So here we have the second set of speaking criteria called the clinical communication criteria. And this has been designed just to show how appropriate you are in speaking in a healthcare context. Are you able to imply the subtle nuances of shade and meaning and expression when you are speaking in a clinical context? And it looks at 5 different criterion within this criteria. We have relationship building, understanding and incorporating, providing structure, information gathering, and information giving. So relationship building is essentially developing a rapport, developing empathy, showing warmth to each other when you're speaking. So the impact and the choice of the opening to the conversation, aka don't start a conversation by saying, hello, please sit, what's your problem? Okay, you need to be warmer, you need to be kinder. Hello, my name is so-and-so, and I'm going to be taking your queries today. How are you and how may I help you? Something like that. Show warmth, show that you're open, showing that you're willing to listen and care for that patient if you are a doctor, for example. And also empathy. You need to show that you care for the patient throughout. You understand what they're going through. You understand, even if it's not directly, but indirectly, what they're experiencing, and you want to care for them throughout. Okay, so a few phrases here and there throughout the role play. Whenever a patient shows that they're undergoing something difficult, maybe they are having problems with the diagnosis of their illness, they're scared, they're worried, they're angry maybe at times as well. Oh, I understand how you must be feeling today, sir or madam. Oh, I can only understand how you must be feeling. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, but let me reassure you that. Something like that. There are a lot of different phrases that we can use, but make sure that you do try and at least display that empathy, that at least you're understanding what they're experiencing, if it's not directly, but showing that you care throughout the role play when is appropriate. Okay, understanding and incorporating, as I said, making sure that you are having a two-way conversation in this dialogue. Yes, the medical professionals should lead the conversation, but you shouldn't dominate the conversation. It should be a bit more equal. Okay, so making sure it's a dialogue throughout. There's not long periods where the doctor or the nurse is speaking at the patient for a long period of time. It should be more broken up, and you can see that in the official OET role play transcripts that OET release. You will see that throughout the role play, the patient has been given numerous chances to speak. So you want to try and open up that conversation to show that they're listening and to show that you care for them as well. You're getting their opinions, you're getting their questions throughout. So make sure it's a dialogue. It is a role play after all. Providing structure. So of course your role play should provide structure. The case note cards that we're going to see very soon, the case note points should actually follow a relatively logical chronological order from the beginning to the end. But of course you are free to move that about if is necessary. But of course you should have a suitable introduction. The patient might obviously exchange some pleasantries at the very beginning. The patient might tell you, you might ask the question about how the patient's feeling, what they're experiencing. They give you basically the rundown, the overview of what they're experiencing. You might follow up with some more questions just to ask a bit more information about that. You would then start your diagnosis with the patient. The patient may express something that's unclear to them, or they are afraid about, or they'll show an objection to the information. You address that information and keep going throughout the conversation, addressing all the points as naturally as you can while expressing empathy, etc., etc., and then have a suitable closure as well. Many students, when they come to the end of the role play, are like, okay, I'm done, I want to go. And they go, okay, bye-bye, and that's it. But make sure if you're opening nice and formally, that you're also closing nice and suitably as well. The closing is very, very appropriate, as well as the opening of the conversation too. So make sure it provides a nice logical structure from beginning to end. And your role play is approximately 5 minutes in length. Information gathering and information giving kind of come together. The last two criterion here, guys. So it is criteria. And well, information gathering is, are you asking questions? Hopefully the patient isn't telling you everything. Hopefully you're not just selling everything back to the patient without asking those questions. So make sure you're asking open questions about the patient's condition, their diagnosis, etc., etc. And you can even make up a couple of questions to add on to the role play a bit if you want to make it a bit more natural. Simultaneously, you need to be giving information as well. So when you are giving information, it's appropriate, because it says here, listeners' comfort and understanding, that you are asking them questions to confirm that they've understood what you're saying. This is where the close-end questions come in. For example, I'm telling you about this. How do you feel about this? Is this okay for you? Am I being clear to you? Yes or no answer, something like that. That's important to confirm to the patient that they've understood maybe this heavy medical language, or it could be bad information they don't want to hear, but it is a very important information nonetheless. So make sure you're simultaneously asking open questions to understand what the patient's going through, while also again asking closed questions to confirm understanding at the same time. Make sure that you do that. Okay, guys, that's a bit of a brief breakdown in the scoring criteria. We're going to apply that in the speaking practice today with some assessment questions. So these assessment questions, guys, have been designed to get a rough overview about how well you have fulfilled the assessment criteria for linguistic and clinical communication criteria. Now, I won't have a chance today, because time is obviously quite short, to go through all of these questions when assessing your role plays, but I will obviously take a few of these questions in areas that I think you've done well, or areas that I think you maybe could have improved on a little bit as well. But you can take these assessment questions and use these in your own OET speaking practice. Maybe you're doing some practice in your classes. Maybe you're doing some practice outside of the classes in speaking sessions with your friends and your whoever else is studying with as well. So please take a screenshot or a picture of these assessment questions and use them in today's class, as well as outside in your own practice in your own time as well. So I would like everyone to either take a picture or a screenshot of these assessment questions. When you have done so, please confirm by saying done or yes, something like that, into the comment box, please. Once I've seen a suitable number of people who have confirmed, then we will resume with the first role play of the class. So please let me know, guys, when you've taken a picture of that, and say yes and say done, and then we can get on with the class. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. We have Mads, we have Zach, we have Rochelle, we have Tisha, we have Leno, a good other few students. I want to make sure everyone else is doing it in the other feeds as well. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Prataksha. Thank you, Nature in the YouTube feed. Okay, let's see anyone else who has done so. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Super Awurama. Thank you, Hajra, as well. Very good. Okay, another couple of seconds. People have done that, and then we will move on with the next part of this session. Five, four, three, 2, and 1. Thank you very much, guys. Okay, let's now get into the first role play of today's session, and the role play is the following. It is a doctor's role play. So here is a sample task card. A 45-year-old office worker presents complaining of tiredness and feeling unwell. The patient appears to be overweight and thinks he or she may have diabetes. He or she has a busy office job, 3 teenage children, and a spouse, and says he or she has no time to exercise. This is the first role play card of the day. So, of course, this is a doctor's role playing card. So, therefore, it will be a doctor who I would like to have some speaking practice with. So, of course, guys, if you are interested in coming in and joining the speaking session today, I'm just copying my link into the studio that I am currently broadcasting from. If you are a doctor, you are welcome to come into the session. Only 10 can come in at any time, and I'll have to just pick one lucky person to engage in some role play practice with me, guys. So while people are coming into the studio, everyone needs time to prepare for the role play. So as you may already know, most of you probably do already know, hopefully, you have 3 minutes to prepare for the role play. We're going to keep it to OET official stream times today. So 3 minutes to prepare for your role play, and then we will have 5 minutes to speak. So keep an eye out in the feed for the link into the studio, and come and join me for a chance to some speaking if you are a doctor. 3 minutes, guys, begins now. Good luck with your preparation. Okay, guys, that's the 3 minutes up for preparation time for the role play today. So I've had a good number of people come in and join me today for preparation for the role play. So I'm just going to pick a couple of people. Of course, I'm going to go through an order here, the people who joined the studio. It is a requirement today that you do have a good working microphone. I can hear you clearly, and of course, the internet connection as well to make sure everything flows nice and well. So I'm going to turn on and add to the stream Hajra. Hello, Hajra. Can you hear me?
Hello, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello, Hajra. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, fantastic. I can hear you loud and clear now. Thank you very much for coming and joining me today. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. So can you tell me and the rest of the students today a little bit about yourself?
All right. So I'm a doctor. I'm currently working in as a junior doctor in Pakistan,
Mhm.
and
Hello, Hajra. Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you.
Oh, fantastic. I can hear you loud and Hello, Hajra. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I think there might be a little bit of delay with the speaking, but we'll try and go with it anyway. Thank you very much for coming and joining and telling me a little bit about yourself there in the session as well. So, how are you feeling about your OET preparation?
I'm nervous quite a lot. uh, so
And
I just want to have a good practice session with you.
great. Well, and when are you taking the OET exam?
It's next.
Next, okay, next week. Fantastic. All right. Well, I want to wish you the best of luck with your preparation today and when you're taking the exam as well. So, whenever you're ready, we can begin the role play. Please let me know.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
So I'll start the timer now for 5 minutes. You can begin whenever you feel ready.
all right.
Okay. Actually, Hajra, before we begin, maybe you can mute the background sound on your computer because I can hear the class
Uh,
reverb, if that's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. I've done it. Can you please check if you cannot hear anything else right now?
Yep, that's fine. Okay, we can begin when you're ready. Okay. So I'll start the timer now for 5 minutes. You can begin whenever you're ready.
Okay, Scott, I'm ready.
Yes, you can begin whenever you're ready. Looking forward to it.
All right. Hi, my name is Dr. Hajra. I'll be your treating doctor for today. Before we begin, can I know your name and age, please?
Oh, hi, doctor. Thanks for seeing me. My name's Scott, and I'm 32 years old.
All right. Can I confirm your name, please?
My name's Scott.
All right. Hello, Scott. So, what brings you today?
So, first and foremost, thanks for seeing me today. I'm here because I've recently been feeling very, very tired and a little bit sick. And I'm just kind of afraid about diabetes, to be honest. I suspect it might be that. There's been a lot of publicity in newspapers and TVs about diabetes recently. And because I'm feeling some of the symptoms, I've decided to have a checkup. And that's why I'm here.
Oh, that's very good. That's good that you've come along and to have a visit with me. If it's okay with you, I would like to ask a few questions.
Yes, please. Thank you, doctor.
All right. What about
Just kind of afraid about diabetes, to be honest. I suspect it might be that. There's been a lot of publicity in
your
newspapers and
work
TV.
life?
Sorry, Hajra, you cut out a little bit there. Would you like to repeat that part again?
All right. I would want to know about your exercise. Well, what kind of exercise do you have in your daily life? Are you an
Oh,
active?
I'm not an active person at all. I work very long. I have children as well. I don't really have much time to exercise.
Okay. All right. That's okay. How do you manage your work with your life? Like you mentioned that you have
Yes. So I always have quite a busy and stressful job. I have three teenage children as well. So whenever I'm not working, I'm looking after them. And it doesn't. It means I eat quite a lot of bad food as well. So I'm often feeling like I need to relieve my stress from doing that. If that makes sense.
I can completely understand what you're going
Mm,
through.
mm.
Most of the people, even sometimes doctors as well, can go through such life, that can have such an unhealthy lifestyle, if I may say.
Mhm.
Uh, to rest assure you, I think that we can help you with to have a good life planned out for you. I want to discuss something with you, if that's all right.
Yes, please, doctor. Yep.
So you've mentioned that you have an unbalanced lifestyle, and you're probably looking for. You have probably let that unhealthy lifestyle be like being overweight may lead to diabetes. So I don't know if you've heard about diabetes, and I would want to know if you want me to explain further what diabetes is.
I think I know a good bit about diabetes, but it'd still be good to get your opinion. But I think I've been experiencing what might be some symptoms of diabetes recently. I've been feeling quite dizzy, always very thirsty. I can't stop drinking water. Very easily get out of breath, even going upstairs, and even my skin's been quite itchy as well.
All right. Okay. So the diabetes, basically diabetes has two types: type one and type two.
Mhm.
So I would want you to know more about it. Diabetes in type one diabetes, basically your body is not producing enough insulin that keeps our type two, in which the sugar from our body that we do intake or the body is generating is not being cleared out.
Mhm.
Scott, can you follow up on me? Is that okay for you?
Oh yeah, well, thanks for giving me that information. So, what do you think? Do you think I have diabetes? And if I do, what type and how can it be treated?
All right. So, Scott, to make a diagnosis of your disease or your symptoms, I would need to run some blood tests, for which I
Dr. Hajra, I'm sorry, but your internet maybe cut out a little bit there, and I wasn't able to hear what you just said quite there recently. If you could just try and repeat yourself one more time, and we'll see if we can continue. So, hello, Dr. Hajra?
hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, but unfortunately, I think your internet line cut a little bit there, so I didn't actually hear the last part that you said, unfortunately. So the time is up, unfortunately. I'm sorry there might have been a few technical internet issues there with the role play, but thank you very much though with
Thank
taking part in the role play today. Sorry we didn't get to do a 100% complete one because of maybe some internet latency issues, but let's just go through a bit of review in terms of what you did today. So. I know there obviously were a few issues, but how did you feel doing the role play?
I was nervous.
Of course you were nervous. You're completely fine to be nervous as well, given that you've just done a speaking session in front of me and in front of a lot of other people on the OET official channel as well as the Swoosh English channel. So well done for stepping up and doing that.
Uh, Thank you. I just had a lot of thoughts running in my mind, and I just couldn't get it out all in a proper way. So
Hey, it's okay.
I'm
There's a lot of distractions as well when you're doing it on a computer in front of lots of people. There'll be less distraction the day of the exam. So if you can do it today, you can maybe do it better then as well. So what do you think you were good at in that role play? What was a strong point of yours? Okay. Sorry, Dr. Hajra, I can't actually hear you. I'm not sure if anyone else can. So what I'm going to do quickly is just go through a few areas I thought you were strong in and go through a few areas I think you can make maybe some slight improvements in as well. Okay. So
okay.
you were strong overall with most linguistic criteria. You were fluent. Your intonation was appropriate. appropriate, you had a suitable register for a doctor, and there were no real notable grammatical or vocabulary mistakes I took a note of as well. Of course, I was in the interlocutor, so I wasn't going to be taking down all of this essential information, but your linguistic criteria were very, very strong. Now, there was a couple of fluency issues which came with nerves. You might have repeated yourself. You might have had a bit of self-repetition. That's nerves, and obviously with some of the issues with the internet, that might have caused that as well. That's completely fine. You were very good at showing direct empathy. So you were showing empathy through a direct example that you give, as well as using phrases like word to give some information as well. So that's really, really important. Make sure that you are giving that empathy frequently throughout the conversation, especially if someone is concerned about a condition. So well done with your use of empathy. You did ask me suitable open and closed questions, which is absolutely great. So you would have scored pretty well in some aspects, what I heard in the role play, for both giving information and receiving information as well. Now, there were a few moments though with your progression of the role play. I thought maybe you could have integrated that a bit better at the very beginning. So, for example, obviously there could have been an internet issue. I might not have heard it, but you didn't ask me about the symptoms of diabetes at the very, very beginning. I had to tell you, oh, I'm feeling dizzy, I'm feeling thirsty, I'm feeling breathless, I have itchy skin. That would have been something very, very suitable to ask at the very, very beginning. Get the symptoms and the diagnosis of the information at the very, very beginning so you can properly assess throughout the role play. But then again, I'm not sure if I heard that from you when obviously we were doing the role play itself. So you may have said that, I just didn't catch it. Okay. Anyway, Dr. Hajra, I'm going to say thank you very much for joining the role play today. I appreciate you coming on and doing that role play. I want to wish you the best of luck with your OET exam when you do it as well. So thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Enjoy the rest of the class. Thank you. Okay, guys. Anyway, that was Dr. Hajra. Even though there were maybe a couple of sound issues that happened throughout that role play, let me know how you thought she got on in the role play today in terms of what you heard and what she did. What do you think she was strong in? And what do you think maybe she could have improved in a little bit as well today too? And obviously that's one thing I just want to tell everyone in the session today, that if you are to come on and do some speaking practice, given that it's obviously over the internet, there's video and audio involved, please make sure you're in an environment that is quiet and also that you have a suitably fast internet connection if ideal as well, because of course I need to have students who are able to do the speaking role play practice today. So thank you very much, and make sure that you can do that for the speaking practice for the next one when we have people come in. So let's hear some of the feedback, bring it in, and we'll try and discuss that before we move on to the next role play today. Okay, guys. Anyway, before we move on to the next role play, guy, I just want to remind everyone that we have, if you obviously are a Swoosh English student, or if you're not, we have a free OET Masterclass series, which is going live right now. In the free OET Masterclass, you will get tips and tricks in all four methods, or all four sections of the exam, including the essential methods that you want and need. And you also get a free access to a speaking guide for the OET exam as well. So if you are interested in our completely free OET 4-video masterclass presented by myself, and you're looking to start your OET preparation appropriately, then come and join our free OET masterclass now today. You'll see the links in the Facebook feed and the YouTube feed where you can join. Click in the link and get signed up today. It's completely free, and you never know what you might learn from Swoosh English in these masterclasses. After all, we help thousands of students pass their OET exams. We want to make that resource free to you and available so you can pass your OET exams with confidence as well. So please, guys, get signed up today as soon as possible. Okay, so here is our second role play card of the day, guys. It's one, of course, is for a nurse. So the role play card reads, you see an 18-year-old patient who is in his or her last year of high school. He or she is worried about an approaching examination and is having emotion-related panic attacks. I wonder if that's anyone in this session today as well. Can you relate to this 18-year-old about preparing for an examination? Let me know in the comments, guys. He or she is seeing you for advice on how to manage them. Okay. So here is the second role play card today. All right. So once again, I'm going to set the timer for 3 minutes, not 4 minutes. Can't get my fingers right. 3 minutes, as you will have to prepare for the day of the OET exam. Once, of course, the timer has started, you will see the link once again to come and join the stream. If you are a nurse, come in and join me today for the chance to do some speaking, but make sure, of course, your internet connection is sufficiently strong to engage in the speaking practice. Thanks a lot, guys, and I will see you all in 3 minutes for our next OET roleplay speaking practice session today. Good luck with your preparation. Okay, guys, that's the 3 minutes up for preparation time for the second OET role-playing card. I hope everyone had enough time and feels suitably prepared for that card. Let's engage now in our second role-play speaking practice today. So a couple of nurses come and join us. The first person I'm going to give access to is the first person to come in. Let's see if they're ready to actually join us in the session today, is Lionel. Hello, Lionel. Can you hear me? Hello, Lionel. Can you hear me? Okay, let's try someone else. Hello, Daniel. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello, Daniel. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Can you confirm with me that you are a nurse?
Unfortunately, no. I think I'm a doctor. I just joined by
Okay.
mistake.
Well, thank you very much for confirming with me. Thanks for joining, but I am going to give this speaking practice to a nurse today, if that's okay with you.
No problem. No problem. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Thank you very much. And
Yeah.
enjoy the session. Enjoy the session. Okay. Hello, Mary. Can you hear me?
Yes, hello.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm fine. I'm doing great.
Very good. Can you confirm that you are a nurse?
Yes, I'm a nurse.
Oh, thank you. Fantastic. Good to hear. So, Mary, tell me a bit about yourself.
I'm a nurse in the Philippines, and I'm currently on leave because I'm preparing for my upcoming exam.
Okay. And how do you feel about your OET preparation? How's it coming along for you?
I think I'm just trying to just study every day just to be prepared because I was preparing for about 3 months or 4 months, like that.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's a good amount of time to prepare for your exam. And when are you taking the exam? Have you booked it yet?
Yes, on March 20.
March 20th next week. Oh, wow. Well, I'm very happy to give you some chance to do some speaking today. Very good.
Thank
Mary,
you.
I'm going to start the clock now for 5 minutes. You can start when you are ready to begin your role play speaking practice today. Okay.
Okay. So,
Whenever you're ready, you
okay.
can begin.
Okay.
And
Good
good luck.
afternoon. Hi.
Hi, good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon. Good afternoon, Scott. Thanks for coming in today. I'm one of the nurses in this community clinic. My name is Riza. So how may I help you?
Well, thanks so much for seeing me. I've been having a hard time recently, nurse. I don't really talk about this. It's quite difficult for me. But I've been,
Mm-hmm.
I guess, panicking a lot recently. I think it's to
Mm-hmm.
do with, well, I do have an examination coming up. It's a really, really important exam for my last year
Okay.
of high school. I don't like tests. I don't like doing presentations. They make me feel very anxious and very, very
Mm-hmm.
afraid. And I think I've been experiencing panic attacks, and I'm just here to see if you can help me today.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I can see that you're having difficulties with this kind of situation. But would you mind telling me what are the other symptoms that you have been experiencing?
Yeah, so I've had a couple of times where I've been short of breath for no reason. I'm just sitting down and I find it hard to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that's accompanied with some shakes. My heart rate will start going crazy, and sometimes my chest feels really tight, and there might be some pains in my chest as well.
Okay, and have you already felt this condition before or just now because of your upcoming examination?
I have had something similar to this before, nurse, but
Mm,
not as serious as what I've experienced recently.
okay. So thank you for sharing this
Sure.
information with me. So I believe from what you have discussed to me, you are experiencing a panic attack. And actually, it is a common condition, especially if you are experiencing this situation when you are having an upcoming exam and you are becoming nervous. And it is a normal reaction. Actually, I've already felt that before when I was in college and
Mm.
studying also. So it is something that you do not need to be overly concerned about. But I could give you some measures on what you can take so that you could remain calm and to manage your symptoms. Would that be okay with you?
That would be great. Yeah, thank you. And good to know that it's not just me going through this.
Yes. Okay. So may I discuss to you what are the measures that you can do?
Yeah, please tell me.
Okay, so firstly, just to help you to remain calm, you could go to a quiet place or just have a short walks when you're feeling stressed.
Hmm.
And also, you could try to listen to music that you really love just to help you relax. Avoid stressful situations. Whenever you are faced in a stressful situation, you could do some deep breathing exercises.
Hmm.
Good exercise every day could also help you to remain calm.
Mm.
Also, eat a lot of healthy foods that could help you to remain healthy for preparation your upcoming exam. So, what do you think? Would you be able to manage to do this?
Well, some of those things I try to do anyway. I love going for long walks, for example. So, yeah, maybe I just have to be aware of this and do it more often, right?
Yes, yes, that's great. It's good to hear that, Scott. In addition to that, it would also be helpful if you have enough sleep so that you could
Mm.
study more and your mind will be relaxed while studying. How does it sound?
Yeah. Ah, well, yeah, sleep's obviously hard when you're panicking, but yeah, it all makes complete sense. And nurse, is there anything that you can do and the hospital can do to help me manage these things as well?
Oh, sure. I could actually conduct a meeting with you if you want. You can visit me here weekly so we could
Ah,
discuss about your emotions and what are the things that we could help you. For example, I could teach you some exercises that could help you to relax. So, and
hmm,
other relaxation techniques, meditation. So, would you be able
yeah.
to come and join us during that weekly meeting?
Okay. That sounds great. That sounds really interesting. If you could get that information for me, I would like to do that.
Okay, that's great. So, do you have any other questions that you would like to ask?
No, I suppose I feel much better about the situation now, and it's good for you to
Mm-hmm.
tell me this information. I'll try my best to remain calm and just be aware that it's
Mm-hmm.
a panic attack and it's not
Yeah.
serious. So thank you very much for all that information today, nurse. I really appreciate it.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that I was able to help you, and I assure you that if you follow all these advices, it will really help you to remain calm so that you could prepare for your upcoming exam without having or without facing any troubles. So, thank you, and I'll just leave you now. So, bye, and you could take care. If in case you need anything else, you could visit me anytime here at the clinic, okay?
Sure. Thank you, nurse. Goodbye.
Bye.
And the role play is done. Well done, Mary. How do you feel about that role
Thank
play?
you. I'm really nervous because it feels like a lot of people is watching me, or even though they are not seeing me in
No, don't
person.
worry. It's just me. Don't worry. It's just me. Ignore everyone else. Ignore everyone else. You're not online. Well, well done for taking that. If you can do it in front of just me, right, then you can do it in front of the interlocutor for the OET exam. I guarantee that this is probably scarier for you, but well done for that role play. So, and thanks for being so brave and coming on and taking part today. So,
Thank you.
tell me, what can you give me what you think was one strength and what you think was one weakness in that role play?
I think with regards to strength, I was able to provide empathy to the patient by
Certainly,
relating
yeah.
his experience to mine.
Mhm.
And with regards to weakness, I think there are some parts that I become hesitated to
Right.
provide
Okay. So let's
advice
start.
and
Okay, sure. Let's start with, of course, just so you know, I'll try my best to go over what I saw in the role play because I'm also carrying out the role
yeah.
play. My feedback won't be as detailed as maybe you want it to be, but I'll pick up on a few things
Okay.
that I observed when I was doing the role play at the same time. First thing was that, well, you mentioned empathy. That was a great example of direct empathy, and it just seems so natural and it flowed in as well. So well done. Your empathy wasn't just direct with the college example, but also throughout the role play, where you were showing that you cared and you were trying your best to help me with the situation. So your empathy was strong. All of your linguistic criteria was very strong. You're a good, confident, and fluent speaker. You use appropriate language for the most part in the role play. Your grammar, for the most part, was correct. There were a couple of small errors. For example, you said to me, I would like you to discuss to me, was one. When we discuss to, you would discuss with. So the prepositional error there. Discuss with me
Okay.
was one thing I picked up on. Okay. You also said all this advices. Is advices countable? Can you say
Yes.
one advice, two advice, three advice?
Oh no, no.
No, advice is uncountable. So all of this advice would be that. So you wouldn't say advices.
Okay.
Okay. So that was obviously a singular plural issue, subject verb agreement as well. Just keep that in mind. But they were obviously very small things. Everything else was really, really good for the most part. Okay. You start off with asking me lots of open-ended questions about what I was experiencing, the symptoms, the duration, the previous occurrences, which was great. You could have continued that a little bit more throughout the role play.
Okay.
So, for example, when you were telling me about the measures to carry out to feel calm and collected, You just told me all these things. Oh, you should try deep breathing. You should try walking. You should try listening to music. Should you maybe have asked me some questions there? What do you think?
Okay. So I should have asked you if you are doing the. Yes, yes. I think so. I should ask before if you are doing those kind of
Yeah.
stuff before
You could,
I continue with those advices.
you could have asked me, for example, what do you like to do to relax? Do you like to walk? Do you like to listen to music? Etc. Etc. I could have said, oh yeah, well, this is what I like to do, relax. You could have said, oh yeah, well, this would be very, very good.
Yes.
Engage in the things that you relax in to feel better, and you could try out this deep breathing. You could try out this walking. You could try out this, etc. Etc. Okay, so ask more questions as well, even when you're giving
Okay.
the diagnosis, not the diagnosis, but giving me the advice about what to do to follow up with the condition as well. Okay, that'll be one more thing you could have done. Just
Okay.
to maybe score a little bit higher with the information gathering, was to ask questions throughout the role play, and it got me involved a bit more as well. Okay, structure was great. It
Okay.
flowed from beginning to end very nicely. Nice little introduction, nice little conclusion. Your time management was great as well. The role play came in at just over 5 minutes, which is perfect. So well done. And plenty of empathy, plenty of close-ended questions as well. It was a very good role play. Just be careful of those small grammatical errors that I heard. For example, advices versus
Yes.
advice. And
Okay.
just make sure that you try and incorporate more questions in throughout the entire role play as well. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Scott.
You're very welcome. So best of luck with your exam
Okay.
next week. I think you're going to be great. Well done.
Yes. Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome, Mary. Thank you, and bye. Okay, guys, and that was our nurse Mary. He took part in the role play today. I think you all agree she did an absolute fantastic job with that role play. I'm seeing some comments coming in saying things like she's doing quite well, impressive, good luck. And I think a nurse usually suggests instead of advice. Okay, yep, that's good feedback. And also Cheston has said great job as well. Fantastic. Yeah, so everyone's saying, Mariam, that Mary, that you did really, really well. It was a good role play and very, very strong overall. And I would agree. Just a couple of things I suggest in the feedback to obviously maybe just improve that a bit more. But overall, it was a very strong role play, and well done to Mary and also Dr. Hajra for taking part in the role play today. So guys, if you enjoyed this class today, then please give me a like, give me a heart, give me some sort of indication that you enjoyed this class. Either way you're watching on the OET page and the YouTube page, whatever you're watching, just say either with a like or a comment if you enjoyed this class. Anything else you want to see maybe this having the class in the future, I'm open, of course, to your suggestions as well. So please leave those comments in before we finish off the session today. But hey, it was a good role play and a good session with quite a large audience today. So I definitely enjoyed that. So guys, just before we actually finish off the session today, I just want to remind everyone who hasn't seen already that we have, of course, our free OET masterclass, which is currently live right now. If you're new to your OET preparation or you haven't yet chosen a provider, you're thinking, okay, what do I do? How do I prepare? What do I need to do for speaking? How can I get the highest marks in writing, etc.? What do I need to do every day? And how long will it take for me to prepare adequately for my OET exam? Come and join our free OET masterclass, a free 4-video series presented by myself, telling you about all the methods, the tips, the tricks, value in terms of some speaking, writing, listening, and reading advice, but most importantly, how to prepare for the OET exam appropriately. You get access to a free speaking resource as well. And as I said, these videos are completely free. So if you're interested, click on the link in the feed right now. You'll see it coming in a second, and come and join our free OET masterclass series today. Looking forward to having you in those sessions with me and enjoying our free content. So guys, that is the end of the session today. I want to thank everyone for taking part in the OET speaking session today. If you enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments or via any of the emoticons you can use in Facebook and YouTube, etc. And I will see you all very, very soon for some more live content here at Swoosh English. Of course, if you haven't joined us at Swoosh English yet, come and join us at www.swooshenglish.com and come and check out how we can help you pass your OET exam for the first time. So thank you very much for joining today. I appreciate everyone checking in. Anyone who's taking the exam next week, sincerest luck to you, and I hope you pass the exam with the score you want, and obviously fulfill the dreams that you have with working and living abroad as a doctor or a nurse or another profession overall. And I will see you all very, very soon for some more OET live speaking practice here with me at Swoosh English. Have a good day, everyone. Take care, and thanks for joining again.